You're watching the PIEA 2022 Fall Championship Playoffs, brought to you by St. Joseph's University. I'm Kendo Slice, and here are your Rocket League highlights. It's best of sevens here on out, and Lancaster Catholic would look to take CB South the distance in our first matchup. We start in Game 2, where after going down in the first game, TiVo's catch and control from their own defensive corner would be the calming statement. It's time to regain. And this series would go to a Game 6 where the message was received, and CB South's team play would be a determining factor in a 4-2 series victory. Quarterfinal action would pick up, and undefeated Avon Grove would look to prove themselves against Manheim Township. Things would look very good for the Red Devils early on, outscoring Manheim Township 12-2 through the first 3 games. This aerial team play would keep the streaks on the ropes. Manheim Township, however, would fight back, winning the next 2 games. But in Game 6, the teamwork of Avon Grove would prove to be just too much to overcome. Red over blue, 4-2. Baldwin High and CB West would look to square off in our next quarter-final. And it was those Fighting Highlanders that would take the fight to the Bucks in game number 1. Infinite Memes setting the pace with this Smash Mouth 50 in the mid, which led to a 5-2 Game 1 statement. Despite the start, this series would go all 7 games. But the constant press would finally break CB West, and Mark Lurk would put the punctuation on a huge series win. Emmaus High, undefeated, would look to take down defending champs North Catholic in our final bout. Great leaders perform in the toughest moments, and after a loss in Game 1, North Catholic's Messi would set the tone with a full pitch carry into a one-timer pass for Thermalops, getting the Trojans back on track. And in the waning moments of Game 6, with a chance to clinch the series, Messi would strike again with an angle reminiscent of a Pele goal. North Catholic would punch their ticket to Pittsburgh, 4-2. We're not done yet. Our Valorant expert LaFawn has even more.
Thank you, Kendo. And it's time for playoffs. In our first quarterfinal, Thomas Jefferson High School took on Knock High School. And despite being the last player standing with the clock ticking on the spike, Fade made sure to take the time to line up the sheriff shots. And with 2 clean kills, got the clutch to take map number 1. In map 2, Thomas Jefferson was the picture of confidence, and the Sage made a 1v3 look absolutely routine, isolating individual duels, then defusing the spike, as Thomas Jefferson would win map 2 and the series to move onwards to the semifinals. On to Susquehanna Township High School versus Manheim Township High School. After falling to an early round deficit, Susquehanna needed a round to stem the tide. While the 5th round looked lost as it turned into a 4v2, the neural theft gave enough information to allow Phoenix to use the run it back to get 4 kills, as it would take map number 1. In map number 2, a very passive setup after the spike was planted allowed the defense to flood the site, but that just brought everyone to the sight line of the attackers, and the KO made quick work of the long sight lines, as Susquehanna took the map, the series, and moved forwards to their semifinal match. In Cheltenham High School versus Cumberland Valley High School, we opened up with Icebox for map 1. And with a spike being planted on the A site, Cumberland elected to fight to keep space, Blueberry making quick work of every player entering the site, down to their very last bullet, as Cumberland earned map 1. For map 2, Cumberland came out of the gates hot, and while the previous map was close, Split quickly went in favor of Cumberland, the final fight quickly turning on ahead as the Resurrect stabilized the KO, allowing a crossfire shutdown of the remaining 2 players, as Cumberland would win 2-0 in their series, moving forward to the semifinal match. That's our PIEA highlights presented by Pittsburgh Technical College. We'll see you next week.